Hello, I'm Brian Wilford, Member of Parliament for Richmond Hill, and this is MP Report. It's been quite an interesting week in Parliament, starting off with the introduction of my private member's bill, Bill 632. 632 is on bereavement. At the present time, if a loved one dies in your family and you need to contact the federal bureaucracy to deal with issues such as passports, CPP, or deal with Veterans Affairs, etc., often 10 or 12 different departments, you go to Service Canada's website. Unfortunately, that website is very complicated. Many email, phone numbers. You phone a number, you have to go through the list of numbers to press the right button in order to contact so-and-so. And you have to tell the same story over and over again about a loved one in your family who's passed away. What my bill 632 will do is basically what we call one-stop shopping. It's common sense legislation where you would use a SIN number. You'd have to provide obviously a death certificate and deal with the fact that when you phone in, you say so-and-so has passed away, here's the number, and that would trigger in the Department of Human Resources Development through Service Canada a chain of reaction that all departments would be contacted because of that SIN number. And then all of the benefits that the deceased had been receiving would be terminated. That makes it very easy. You don't have to tell the same story over and over again. One-stop shopping. And I must say that I have received good support. I'm receiving emails from across the country. I would urge you to contact me in support of this bill, or others who are watching who don't live in the riding of Richmond Hill. Contact your local member of Parliament. Contact the Minister of Human Resources Development, the Honourable Diane Finley, and let her know that you're in support of 632. We need to make the bereavement period certainly easier on people. And the fact that people are emotionally stressed and having to deal with the bureaucracy isn't good at the best of times. This is a way to lighten the burden for you and for family members. Also this week, the Speaker of the House of Commons made two important rulings. One was on the so-called Bev Oda affair, where the Minister of International Cooperation misled or lied to Parliament about the organization known as Kairos as to whether or not she had overturned a decision of her bureaucracy to fund this organization. It's a church organization working internationally. As I've said before, there is nothing wrong with the minister overturning a position that her department has taken, a recommendation. What is, of course, wrong is misleading the House of Commons, to a committee and in the House, saying that she didn't know who had rejected the request for funding. The other was on the issue of documentation. And that is on the issue of the so-called mega prison approach of this government, this law and order agenda. What we wanted to know was the cost of these bills. How much will it actually cost if you build X number of prisons? How much will it cost if you do certain things? And the government refused to provide that information. So there were two requests to the Speaker to rule on both of these issues. The Speaker, the Honourable Peter Milliken, ruled, in fact, that the opposition, and really Parliament, is entitled to that information. So they were in breach of Parliament. This is the third ruling of the Speaker in a year, which clearly indicates not only the supremacy of Parliament, which is absolutely important in the democratic process, but also condemn the Government of Canada for their secrecy. And it's the secrecy and the failure to disclose, which, as a member of Parliament, I cannot do my job. My colleagues cannot do their job if they don't have the information. And so this was certainly a rebuke. Now, what does this mean? It means that clearly the democratic process is alive and well, but it also shows the secrecy of the current government. And there's a lot of speculation now that when the House of Commons returns on March the 21st, that there will be a no-confidence vote in this government, and the government may indeed fall. If that occurs, then the budget of March the 22nd would not be presented. Again, this is an issue of where the Government of Canada is not disclosing the kind of information which parliamentarians are entitled to. Something I received a reaction on this week as well was the directive of the government to refer to it in written communications as the Harper government rather than the Government of Canada. This to me is extremely dangerous. In Ontario, for example, the Ontario government cannot call themselves in any written communication the McGuinty government. It's actually illegal. And although the media may refer to it as the Harper government or the Chrétien government in the past, never, ever has there been a written directive where they would send out communiques saying the Harper government. Again, the blurring of the line between government and party, I think, is a very dangerous thing. So we are seized with these issues. The House will be in recess next week. But as I say, we return on the 21st, and probably the key order of business will be a non-confidence vote in the government, which would precipitate an election probably sometime in early May. Again, this is Brian Wilford, and this has been MP Report. Thank you for watching.